Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone? Did we have a good weekend? Hi, George. Do you know what? It was a very busy weekend. I don't know where it went, but I feel like I didn't take a breath for the whole weekend. All right, so we've got a bit of an admin week. So we've already done most of the flowers. So now we're just going to go back and do all the little bits. So we're going to finish these ones here. So that will be 2 days. So we'll do the stem and this stem today. And then we'll do this flower and some of the centers tomorrow. Yeah, and then Wednesday will be like details, and you can decide what you want to do for the centers because there's a couple different things that you can do. It's not just French knots. Then Thursday we have the handle, and then Friday we're going to close up the hoop, and I'll show you how to display it and everything. So like I said, it's kind of an admin-y type week. Yeah, I could shove all of this into like 2 days, but I think it's nice to take your time, really have a think about your hoop, what you actually want to put on it. And yeah, I think it's good. So we're going to start with this guy here because we still have to do something with this. Initially in my notes, I had brick stitch down, but that's not going to work for this. So I'm going to switch these ones to brick stitch and this one here to just a regular like back stitch. So I'm going to do 6 strands, and I'm choosing this like bright-ish green here, and we're just going to fill that in. And like I said, originally I had brick stitch, but hi Jamie T. But the problem is that because it's interrupted, you're not really going to see it very much. So it's like you're going to waste your efforts on something that's you're not really going to see, you know? So that's a little bit silly. So you can do long back stitches or just straight stitches to fill it up. I'll probably end up doing just a couple of long ones here. Whew. There's like a little fruit fly or something in here. It came right at me. So this can be just 2 strands wide, or you can do 3 if you want. I'm always a believer of doing just a couple, and you can always go back and do a couple more, you know? You can always add to it. I'm just trying to make this even. Because of course I didn't trace it properly. Like leave that to me, right? To not even trace my own pattern properly. And then if you want to do a little bit wider, you can do a little bit wider. I'll do 3, I think. And then we'll do the brick stitch for the other ones. I just thought we'd get this out of the way. I think the brick stitch is quite fun, but some people really don't like it. So that's, oh, okay, good. It is a Monday, isn't it? Just let it all happen today, and then the rest of the week will be amazing, right? Get all of like the bad things out today. All of the annoying little bits. Okay. Now with this one, I've chosen this darky kind of color. And we're gonna do 3 strands of this one. You guys are quiet today. Not a fan. You know what, if you know that you don't like it, I would suggest 1, trying it again, because you've learned a lot since you last tried it, Melanie. But also, it's your pattern. So do what you want, you know? And I'm gonna get out the practice hoop and just not quite awake yet. It's 10 o'clock, guys. 10 o'clock. Do you know what though? Friday and Saturday night, I did not sleep very well. And then last night, I slept so good. I turned the fan on and it was nice and cold and did all the blankets up. Oh, it was so nice. And I'll have to show you the painting I did in my room as well. So nice. Okay, so I'm gonna show you on here real quick, just because I think it's easier to see when it's a little bit bigger. So what we're gonna do, it's just an offset back stitch. So it's gonna be just like bricks. So I'm gonna use a brick. I'm gonna draw a brick so that you guys can see a little bit better. So literally, this is 1 stitch. This is another stitch. So 3 back stitches. And then the next row over, we'll do a half stitch. And then from the middle of this one to the middle of this one is gonna be your next stitch. Literally just like bricks. So they're all gonna be offset. So you just need to look for the middle of each one. That's gonna be your next one. So this side will be another half, all the way to the middle, all the way to the middle, and then obviously end on a half again. So it's just like a regular back stitch, but it's just offset like bricks, like you would build a house or do tiling or something like that. So I've got this, it's a little bit dark. I hope that you can see it still. I'll zoom in as well. This one, no number, good. And so we'll just do just the stems in this. And then these little bits, we can do like 2 or 3 straight stitches on top of each other. So let's have a little go. Zoom it in so you can see. Yeah. Okay, and I've also added these little guys here, which is just gonna be some 2 straight stitches on each side. And that will be like the bottom of our new flower that we have on here, because the pom-poms didn't work, unfortunately. They just didn't look nice. Okay, so now we'll start our brick stitch. All right, so we'll go straight down. You don't have to make them so small. You can make them a little bit bigger. Try and make all of your stitches the same size for this. So I've got my 3 stitches here so far. Let's do just one little one to get it in there. Like that. So this is the next one where we'll start to offset it. So in the middle of this one, right next to it, can you see? The stitch goes from there to there, and I'm just coming up next to it, but in the middle. Not through the stitch, next to the stitch. So the next one will come here in the middle. Do you know what I almost did? Do a turkey stitch around in a circle like I did before. But they're just so small. These are so small. that when I tried it on the sample hoop, I was like, no, I cannot make them do this. That's like mean. So I decided not to. But that's okay. Because honestly, I really did think that the pom-poms would work. But they just don't work with embroidery thread. I couldn't get them to look like, not like hay bales, you know? They looked like hay bales when I did it. Like you could see the middle and then the top and the bottom. So that's it. I feel like you guys can't see I feel like you can't see the stitches very well. And then for this, you can do a detached chain stitch for each side, like we did for the purple flowers here. You can do some just regular straight stitches if you want to. So I like to do some stitches right next to each other. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's they're difficult. But they're better when you have more space. So when you have just a very tiny amount of space, it's a bit like, ugh, you know? So you can just do some straight stitches like this on the side, or you can do the detached chain stitch like we did before. So I'm just going to do some going a little bit off kilter here, off the pattern, but that's okay. And of course you can add more or take some away as well. Again, it's your pattern, so you guys can do what you want to do with it. And I feel like you know a lot of stitches now, so if you decide, actually, I don't really want to do that, then don't do it. Try something new, try something else, or use a different stitch that we've used before. Okay, so now we'll get into our brick stitch again. So we'll do a back stitch down the middle. I feel like I need to tighten my hoop. I can feel it a bit saggy. That's okay, because I left it all weekend. I didn't work on it at all, so it probably is a little bit. And then we'll do our second row. Why is this so... There we go. So again, next to the stitch, next to this one. You can do it on the right or left hand side. It just depends on what your hoop is like. And obviously I've got the 3 strands, so it is going to be a little bit thinner. Whereas if you did it with 4 strands or 6 strands, then it will be quite a bit thicker. I'll just do a little half stitch there to finish it, and then come in here. Oh, go away. Ew. We don't even have fruit in the house. There we go. And like I said, you can add more too. If you want to do a couple more, then of course you can. Let me snip this and go over to the other side. We have so many of those little flies at the moment. Yeah, what is going on with them? It's so frustrating. And I feel like They're not coming from the drain. It's like they're outside or something. We do leave our doors open a lot, so that Jessie can just come in and out like when she wants to. So maybe that's part of it. But I do not like it. So I'm going to try and shove this down like that so I don't have to move it again. So we've learned so many new stitches over the past 3 weeks. I feel like there's still more to teach, but not for this hoop. Hello. Make sure you really get these stems into your plants, though. You really don't want them like floating up, you know, where there's like a space in between the stem and the actual flower. So make sure you're really getting them in there. To do my nails today too. Are you planning another stitch along soonish? I am. I'm trying to decide if I can fit another one in between now and like a holiday stitch along, or if I should just not do another one in between and just do a holiday one. So maybe I'll ask in my stories if we want to have like a 2-week one, you know, or maybe like a 3-week one instead of a 4-week one in the middle, and then do the holiday one, you know, like 2 3-week ones maybe. That might be quite fun. I feel like I need something down here. Like it's too empty. Yeah, there we go. Do you know what I bet it is with this hoop stand is that I was doing the videos last week for the 3-inch ornaments, and I had to have it really, really small and really tight. So I bet you that's what it is. Because the ornaments were so small, I could only put like this much of the hoop inside of there. So I bet you that's why it's all like, yes, before the holiday, of course, within your schedule. Yeah, it just, I'll have to have a look because people like about 2 weeks to 10 days for me to announce it so that you can like purchase it and get all your materials and supplies and stuff. I was thinking about doing a stitch along with a kit, but like I said before, I'm really nervous about shipping. And I know if I was the customer and I bought a kit for a stitch along and I didn't get it before the stitch along, I would not be very happy. Like even though the videos are saved, I would still feel a bit like left out, if you know what I mean. Like, well, I didn't get it, so I can't start with everybody. Guys, what is happening? I can't even make this into a knot. I need to go back to bed. I actually slept really good, so I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, I just feel like it would be so fun with a kit because everyone would like have the same colors for once. But I'm not gonna lie, I do like choosing my colors every day. It is quite fun. But by now people would have that. Yeah, Veronica says you could do that for one starting next year. We could buy the kits a few months in advance. Yeah, so that's what I had planned for this year. Which is a little bit annoying because I had some stitch-alongs planned with the kits and everything. So Melanie says, I'm good with the PDF and helping if needed. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, I think a lot of people have a lot of threads now, so maybe that will be a next year thing, a 2021 thing, you know. Hannah says, choosing colors is my favorite part of stitching. I do love it. And I feel like every time that I think, oh, I'm going to choose that color, then the next day I'm like, no, I'm going to choose a different color. Yeah, I like having the variety of colors. And you know what else? I think it's really fun to see what other colors people choose, because I think sometimes I would never choose those colors, but they look so good on other people's hoops, you know? Like I would never reach for those colors myself, and then I see them on other people's hoops and I'm like, I'm using that next time. 100%. It looks so good. So I think that's something like to think about as well, is that when you scroll through all of the Stitch Along hashtag pictures, and or even in the Facebook group, and you see so many people use so many different colors, and you're like, I'm totally going to use that next time. Because I don't think I would necessarily like think to use those or like reach for it, but it looks so good on other people's hoops that you can't resist. Aside from being a terrible year, it's really flown by. I think she means not down by, flown by. It is. I feel like it was just March a little bit ago, you know? And you know what? I think having the stitch-alongs really helps as well. Like, gives you something to focus on. Whereas, I don't know why I went over here when I should have done the brick stitch. I know why. Whereas sometimes when you're having a bad time, like the days just seem to drag on and on and on. So it's good. Gives me a reason to get up. Yes. And honestly, like, I love talking to everyone and like seeing everyone's hoops and like showing people how to do stuff. Like, it's just really fun for me in a very selfish way, you know? I really enjoy it. And also, like, I don't have a car here, so it's not like I can just get into my car and go somewhere, you know? So it's quite fun when, like, I can see everybody and talk to everybody, and it's like, you guys are all my friends. Mary says, stitching is my downtime in the evening. Mary, I'm so behind on Love Island. It's ridiculous. But I can't wait to show you my room that I painted this weekend. It's a bit bold, but I hope that you'll like it. I like it, but it's also like not something that I probably would have ever chosen before. Oh my God, you need to catch up. So funny. I think we'll do like a bunch of them tonight. We have to go grocery shopping tonight. And then after that, ooh. Okay. So this is what we've got so far. So we did all these little guys here. Tomorrow will be a French knot day. So if you want to have a spare hoop, I would definitely recommend that. Even if it's a really small 3-inch or 4-inch hoop with some spare fabric, I would definitely recommend doing that. So we'll do the French knots for these guys there tomorrow. And I'll show you all the different kinds of French knots, how you can make them fatter, how you can make them thinner. My true and tested way of making them so that you will not get a bunch of knots on the top before you pull your thread all the way through. So I got you. Yeah, and like I said, then the next day we'll do details, which is all of these little guys here, how to add details to other things like inside each of your leaves. Even these kinds of things here, you can fill the middle up with some little sprigs of things to make it look a little bit more full if you want to. And like I said, we'll go over the centers as well, because it's not just throw a bunch of French knots on there, you're done. No. We're definitely gonna do some different things in each of the middles. Thursday, we're doing the handle, so you can decide to tack it up like boom, boom, or you can have it down like this. That's totally fine. And then Friday, we're gonna close up the hoop and erase everything, and you can decide if you want to put the line in there or not. So yeah, this is what we've got. So I hope you have a lovely Monday. I cannot wait to see your hoops, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. All right, bye.